Muddy Mayhem, the podcast where we talk about true crime and bad behavior in the Midwest.
Each week, we'll bring you 2 stories from the heartland that might break your heart, but we hope to entertain you along the way.
I'm Janet O'Brien.
I'm Tracey Laricha.
Hello!
Hello, Janet. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Recording twice?
Recording twice.
In a row?
Trying to, just getting used to all of the new equipment.
Yeah.
Thank you for the lovely feedback, those of you that have reached out to us and said that you enjoy the new sound. We're happy with it too.
We're so happy with this. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
And we are here. Janet's in her Big Muddy Mayhem t-shirt tank top. Just a reminder that we do have merch.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of myself.
I think you should.
Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Here.
Do you want me to take it?
Yeah, you're going to have to take it.
All right.
Here.
All right, I got you. All right, put them out, sister. Woohoo! There we are.
There, awesome. That'll end up in our Facebook
in our
feed.
show notes.
Yes,
our Facebook page.
Right, so I'm excited.
But we do have, you didn't come here just to see how cute Janet and I are.
Are you sure about that?
Well, they might. No pictures of me. I'm in my pajamas.
But yeah, I think we have
We have some stories to tell you.
I have my conclusion finally.
Right,
yes.
Absolutely. Janet goes first.
Yes.
So I just get to sit back and relax and have a listen. Janet, do you have anything more to tell me about Jesse James?
Oh, I certainly do.
Fantastic.
Just a recap. We know that he was getting shot at like twice in the chest before the age of 17.
Twice in the chest.
Just twice. And we know that him and Frank had separated and got back together because they were going along with their guerrilla warfare basically after the Civil War. And we know for the last thing I said was Alan Pinkerton was kind of mad at them a little.
The Pinkertons. It's always the Pinkertons.
It's always the Pinkertons. They're like, you know what? We're going to try to get rid of them. And all they ended up doing was killing Jesse and Frank's half-brother, who was only 9, and blowing off his mother's part of her arm. So
right. There are so many people that lose arms in this story, right?
Is that like a thing?
We're down, I think, 2 arms so far, right? In this story.
So far.
So,
oh, no.
Oh, no.
No, I don't think we lose any more arms.
Okay.
But no spoilers.
Okay.
So anyway, we're at the point now to where we're like, okay, let's we're gonna. I'm looking at a thing. Sorry, I got distracted for a moment. New recording equipment. Woohoo!
That's okay.
So now we are. He almost got. The government of Missouri was gonna just give him a pass, like Jesse, but that never happened. So now we're on to the downfall of the James gang.
All right.
Okay. So after Alan Pinkerton threw the smoke bomb that killed the 9-year-old, it was.
We've killed a 9-year-old, and now we're on the sad part.
I know, right? It's not great. So the Jesse James family they were about to get a bad reputation at this point. Just now. I mean, it was already not great, but it gets worse. So Jesse ends up having a son with his cousin/wife.
Oh, right. Yeah, cousin wife.
I
remember.
Yes. Z, as she liked to be called. His son was born August of 1875. They keep going on raids or whatever. The gang was accused of robbing the Huntington Bank in Huntington, West Virginia in September 1875. July of 1876, a gang robbed the Missouri Pacific train in Rock Cut, Missouri.
Okay.
September 1876, they had a botched attempt to rob a bank, the First National Bank of Northfield, Minnesota. So many they've been doing great. Like they always had a way of robbing banks and stuff, but for some reason they just threw all of I guess what was happening is their popularity started to go to their head. This is what it sounds like to me.
Okay.
Because, like I said before, they robbed the Kansas City State Fair. I mean, the fair.
Completely,
and
right.
people were cheering them. So I guess they just figured, well, we can just rob places.
Standing around watching like, yeah, let's see them rob a bank.
Right, but now they're in Minnesota. Like, they're not near any family or neighbors or people in Missouri who might cheer this on.
Minnesotans are a little bit harder to impress,
right?
I guess, right?
So they come to town, and they end up standing out by wearing long overcoats and riding expensive saddle horses.
Okay.
The gang member ends up firing a pistol before everything was in place to go rob this bank.
That's okay. We can just cuddle.
They choose a target that is nowhere near operations of supporting friends and neighbors. The bank cashier refused to open the safe for them and was shot.
Oh, no.
The town was not very thrilled with them robbing their bank, so the town erupted and killed some of the gang members. They killed Clell Miller and Bill Chadwell. There was the Pitts family was also killed, and a posse caught up with the Youngers, and they were shot up.
Okay.
Jesse and Frank escaped this unharmed. They eluded thousands of reward seekers, lawmen, and posses.
So they're looking out for number one. Like,
Yeah.
at this point, it's just like, all right, let's
go.
save your own skin.
Right. They end up returning to Missouri, and for 3 years, the gang didn't do any large scores, because at this point, now they are really listed as outlaws.
They are wanted men.
Yes.
And so you have to be a little bit more cautious about what you're planning to do. You just can't roll up into a town and be unnoticed.
Right. During these 3 years, Frank ends up having a son, Robert Franklin James, and Jesse ends up having a daughter. So he's a second child, Mary Susan James. October of 1879 is the next big heist. They hit the Chicago, Alton, and St. Louis train in Glendale, Missouri, and they end up stealing $40,000.
Oh, that's not so bad.
That's worth over $1 million today.
Right. I was going to say, that's a pretty big haul.
Yeah. September of 1880, they rob a stagecoach in Mammoth Springs, Kentucky.
Okay.
March 1881, they rob a paymaster leaving a bank in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Okay.
Paymaster, and we've had one of those before. A paymaster is basically a military officers in U.S. Army or Navy are responsible for managing and dispersing military pay or more general.
So they've got the goods while you're on the train. They're the one with the big old sack of money.
Yeah, but they're leaving the bank, and they would have a person who would grab that money. July of 1881, they hit the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific train in Winston, Missouri. So they're still hitting lots of places.
They're looking after, it seems as though they are kind of targeting the paymasters at this point, right? Like, who's going to have the bag of money? Right. We really only have to worry about this guy.
Right. And then the last big heist they have is in September of 1881. It happened where they robbed the Chicago and Alton train in Blue Cut near Glendale, Missouri. Now, Blue Cut refers to, it was this area where 30 miles of train track where it curved. And it would slow the train down.
So it's a little bit easier to hop on.
Exactly.
You're going to get some hop-ons.
Right. That is the place where they would normally get hit. Actually, there was a newspaper article on that I found. Here, hold on. My photos.
But yeah, I've noticed that apparently when you take a look at train robberies, bank robberies, they do kind of wait to see where you can get to the train. Boarded by a band of masked robbers who mortally wound the express messenger. rob the express car, the passengers, and escape.
Yeah.
The country being scoured for them, a repetition of the Winston affair.
Yes. So that was their last big heist. At this point, most of the old guerrillas, because this was basically guerrilla warfare, were either dead, in jail, or had found their way back into society. They were like they've hung up their hats on this. However, Jesse kept moving.
Okay.
He at one point he moved to a town in Jackson County, and he lived across the alley from the father of the Jackson County sheriff, and they would have groups of people who would go there and talk about how they were going to get rid of these Confederate guerrilla issues. And
now, do we know why he keeps going? Has he just not made enough? Is it that he can't stop?
I don't know. It never really says. He just, some people, they just couldn't let it go, He ended up dyeing his hair, he grew out a beard, and he dressed as a much older man. And he would go to these posse meetings, acting like a union person to find out what's their plan on. Yeah. So he did that for a while. And then Jesse ends up moving to St. Joseph, Missouri, and he rents a house under the name of Howard. This is the last place that Jesse is going to live.
Okay. Right.
Bob Ford. Bob Ford is this guy. He's not really a part of the guerrillas. He's not very good at it, but he definitely is a follower, okay?
I do think I know where this is going.
Yes. So he's hanging on with the gang, and he is friends with this man by the name of Dick Little. It's spelled Liddle, but still.
Okay, but still, I mean, give me a moment for that.
Right?
Aw.
Yeah. So Little and Jesse James...
Poor Dick Little. Come on.
So...
Janet.
I know. It's so
I'm only human.
So Little...
Tell me about Dick Little, why won't you?
Sure, why not? So Little and Jesse James's cousin, Wood Hite, Hite, got into an...
Hi, I'm Dick Little, and this is Wood Hite. And I don't feel inferior to him at all. Not at all.
So, Wood Hite, that's Jesse James's cousin. So we got Dick Little and Wood Hite. They get...
I'm sorry.
Never gonna make it through this part of the story because of the name.
Okay. Hold on. And 3, 2, 1. I'm good. Go on.
Little Dick.
Gosh, I was good.
I know, I'm not helping.
All right.
Okay, so
Dick Little
and Jesse James's cousin, Wood Hite, get into an argument which turns into a shootout. Bob Ford.
Robert Ford.
Yes, yeah, Robert Ford. Remember. Yeah. Wow, I wrote this weird. Why'd I do that? Anyway, Robert Ford was also there, and he ends up killing Wood Hite. That's Jesse James's cousin. Ford was he got arrested. He's now facing being hung. Or
I'm sorry. There are just so many dick jokes to be made here. All right, so Robert Ford.
Yeah, Robert Ford is now facing either being hung or being found out by Jesse James that he killed his cousin. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to offer Jesse James up to the state of Missouri because I don't want to die. So the Missouri governor, Thomas Crittenden, offered Ford a pardon for murdering basically Hite and promise to pardon. And pardon him and give him $10,000 for killing Jesse James.
Now, is this all? This is in Missouri still,
yes,
right?
it's all in Missouri.
We have a Crittenden Street.
I know, and it's probably named after him. So Thomas Theodore Crittenden, he's the 24th governor of Missouri from 1881 to 1885. He was a Union Army colonel during the Civil War. 1880, he helped found the Missouri Bar Association. He reduced the state debt. He established the Missouri State Board of Health. He increased funds for education, and he started a training school for nurses in the city of St. Louis.
Those are all
So he was...
good measures.
Right.
But was he girthy? No.
So April 3rd, 1882, Bob Ford, who is about to, he wants to get out of this situation, he's been asked to go murder Jesse James. So he brings his brother along, Charlie, and they go over to Jesse James's home in Missouri and discuss the possibility of robbing the Platte City, Missouri bank. Neither had very good experience with being robbers, as I mentioned before, and Jesse's group, his gang, they were pretty small at this point. So he was like, you know what, I'm willing to take a chance on both of you guys. So Jesse's talking to him, and then he turns around to fix the framed needlepoint picture on his wall. As his back is facing Bob, Bob shoots and kills him.
In the back.
And Jesse dies at the age of 38.
I remember there is some kind of a folk song that talks about the pretty little coward that shot Mr. Howard.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So Frank James turns in his gun over to Governor Crittenden because he's like, yeah, I'm not going out that way.
Right.
On October 5th of 1882. Frank ends up facing many trials and accusations, but he is never convicted of the gang crimes, ever.
I never knew really what happened to Frank James.
Neither did I.
Like, you know
exactly.
that Jesse James
We
gets
all know
killed.
he dies.
Right. But it is, it's interesting to hear that Frank...
Right. He just
does, like, yep, I did it. And so he does his time?
No. He doesn't.
Gets no time.
No, he gets no time. There's been a bunch of trials, and they're never able to convict him.
So he's just free?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, Crittenden was criticized for using public funds to pay for the assassination of a private citizen who had not been convicted of a capital offense. Bob and Charlie Ford were arrested, convicted, and then pardoned. But apparently they never received their $10,000. They received a little money, but...
Well, good for... Yeah, so they didn't get anything.
No, they really didn't get anything. Apparently, Charlie ended up committing suicide because he was constantly looking over his shoulder expecting to find Frank James right there. Bob ends up moving to Creede, Colorado. He is a failed actor, and he's a failed saloon business running them. And he ends up getting shot and killed by a blast from Edward O'Kelly.
Oh, dear. Okay.
O'Kelly had lived in Missouri and was married to a relative of the Youngers. You know, that gang that Jesse and Frank were a part. Right. Even though it was never confirmed, they felt like that was a hit. Crittenden was vilified and for doing this, and a former Confederate colonel ends up becoming the next governor of Missouri, Colonel John S. Marmaduke. He was elected as the 45th governor. I'm always going to know how to pronounce the word Marmaduke.
I know.
So he was elected, that governor, he was elected on the platform focusing on cooperation between former Unionists and former Confederates.
And also delivering in the newspapers.
And he was promising a new Missouri. He ended up pushing through laws to regulate the state railroad industry. He dramatically boosted funding for education to public schools. He basically let a third of our or funds go just towards education.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But he ends up dying like 2 years in office of pneumonia.
Okay.
So most of the supporters of the Confederacy in Missouri, they weren't in guerrilla warfare, did not join outlaw gangs. When all this kind of, when Jesse, once the Civil War ended, a lot of them ended up leaving the state for, a time. They eventually came back. 1,000 people ended up leaving the state of Missouri.
Oh my goodness.
To go, not just the state of Missouri, 1,000 of them ended up just leaving the country.
Oh, wow.
Because of the Civil War. But yeah, that's really about it. There's not a whole lot more that goes on with that. It's just, I found this really neat book. It's called Missouri Outlaws, Bandits, Rebels, and Rogues by Paul Kirkman.
Like it. Okay.
So the whole book just talks about the whole Confederacy and how, we moved through in Missouri and all these people doing really crazy
the same
things.
Sort of things.
Yeah.
Like I said, there is some kind of a folk song about Jesse James, and they talk about Bob Ford, the coward, blah blah blah, that shot Jesse James, and so I don't remember the lyrics altogether, but there is something about the pretty little coward that shot Mr. Howard.
Wow.
Has laid poor Jesse in his grave.
Wow.
And so, wow, that was amazing. Now, do we know what happens to Frank at the
No,
end?
I didn't really go into that since the story was more Jesse.
But yeah, that has kind of been the only unanswered question for me is what happens to Frank James? Because he does he skates out of it.
Yeah, he does. He really, really does.
But I've wondered about that. But wow, Janet, thank you. That was
You're welcome.
an amazing story.
Thank you.
Neat to know a little bit of Missouri's history.
Exactly.
And woof. Yeah, it far and wide.
Dick
like
Little.
the reaches of
Dick Little.
Dick Little. And yes, dick jokes aside.
Right.
Still a really, really interesting story.
So I think you have a story for me.
I do.
I'm excited.
And I am going to talk a little bit. This is, as I told you, this is going to be more than one part.
Right.
And this is local St. Louis story. And we are going to talk a little bit about, this is going to be more than one episode. And it really, unlike a lot of our stories, this one doesn't really involve any true crime or bad behavior on the behalf of our main subject, although there is certainly a lot of bad behavior surrounding her.
Gotcha.
I am going to start out by talking about Frida Josephine McDonald, who was born on June 3rd, 1906, fellow Gemini girly. She is born at the female hospital. If you've listened to episodes 66 and 67,
yes, we know.
This is, then you know, this is a place where unwed mothers go to give birth. And Mama is there for about 6 weeks. Now, the fact that she is there is kind of unusual. It probably means that the father, the biological father of Frida, is likely to be a white man because black women weren't treated at that hospital at the time. So her mother, her name is Carrie. She was there for about 6 weeks, and she was working for a white German family at the time. But Mom never really talks about who the father was. There is no father's name on the birth certificate.
I see.
So little Frida is born, and she grows up near Union Station and then also in East St. Louis. Now, her kind of de facto father, the father that is raising her, is a man named Eddie Carson. And he is a vaudeville drummer who is, and I quote, a kind but perpetually unemployed man.
Oh my God.
So being kind and perpetually unemployed, that means that by the age of 8, Frida is in service. Like, she has to help support the family. And so she is kind of hired out as a maid, a laundress, etc. The family that she works for is horrible.
Oh, I think I've heard about this family.
Her hands are scalded in hot water anytime she makes a mistake. She is made to stay on property and, like, stay at their house. But she sleeps in a box in the basement next to the family dog. No blanket, no pillow. The dog is all she has to help keep her warm. Which, a dog will keep you warm.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
but still, yeah, she loves the dog. And she loves the family livestock. So she tends to their chickens also. And she becomes really fond of one chicken that she calls Kitty.
Oh, okay.
Well, the matron of the family is especially cruel.
Oh.
And so she makes her kill that specific chicken. Like, they have a whole flock of them. But she has to go and take and kill Kitty. And then prep it so the family can eat it.
Oh my God.
She is so crushed. She is just sobbing her heart out doing this. She is 8 years old.
Oh my God.
I mean, imagine.
No. It's terrible.
This woman also molests her, like, climbs into her bed at night. Frida, who will be Josephine, spoilers, says something to her mom about it. And her mom is like, those people are paying you, don't be a snitch.
Oh my God.
Her grandmother also, whenever she isn't working, her grandma is the one that is mostly raising her. She's not living at home. She's living more or less where she works, and then maybe sometimes with her grandma.
Gotcha.
So when she's 11 in 1917, the East St. Louis riots, the East St. Louis massacre occurs. Now, this is something that could and should be at its own episode, but it's basically like a strike-breaking thing.
Right.
Where a lot of white union workers are on strike, and so they get very, very poor people of color to come over and walk through the picket lines and take these jobs. And then it all kind of erupts.
Right.
And it goes on for about 3 or 4 days, and it kills about 100 people of color, maybe more. Also, like, some of the white people that are on the sides of the unions, and about 6,000 people are displaced.
Wow.
Now, we're not going to drill down too deep on this, but Josephine's house is one of the houses that is, I believe, burned down at this time.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a big slice of her history. It deserves its own story, but for now I'll let her tell it. Josephine says, I can still see myself standing on the west bank of the Mississippi, looking onto East St. Louis, and watching the burning of homes. We children stood huddled together, frightened to death, with the screams of Negro families running across the bridge.
Wow.
With nothing but what they had on their backs. So with this vision, I ran, and I ran, and I ran.
Wow.
So, by the age of 12, no home, doesn't really have much of a family. She's done with school, like there's no going back to school for her. So she's waitressing at a place called the Old Chauffeurs Club, which is down on Pine Street.
Okay.
still exists, I guess, like still down there today. I'm not the old Chauffeurs Club, but like the building is still there.
Gotcha.
And she's also busking on the city sidewalks in the meantime. She is unhoused. Her family doesn't have a house. There's really not any place for her to go. Her grandma is gone by this point.
Wow.
So she is literally living in cardboard shelters and eating out of trash cans or what she can get that's left over from the place where she's waiting tables.
Sure, right.
At 13, she marries Willie Wells.
Oh my God.
13! He's a waiter and he's a neighborhood guy, and her mother approves of it. Like, yeah, sure, go ahead. At least he'll feed you.
Oh my gosh.
So she's really just trying to get off the streets.
Right.
But working as a waitress and like working with him, that means she gets into dance, and she's really good at it, Janet.
Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh, she is really good. The marriage only lasts about a year, but she learns dance, and she learns a little bit about service, and she learns kind of how to present herself.
Okay.
So 1921, she's now 15. She and Willie Wells are done.
Right.
But she marries Willie Baker.
15 and she's on her second marriage.
15 and she's on her second marriage, yes.
Oh my God.
He's a Pullman porter. Do you remember, like, have you heard about what the Pullman...
I remember you telling me, and now I'm...
Pullman coaches were
right.
like kind of travel cars for the wealthy.
Right.
So a Pullman porter, that's actually a pretty good gig. Like, you're the one that goes around, tickets please,
right.
you know. And she's married to him for a little while. They divorce. Like, I don't think it's more than a year.
Okay.
Again. So, literally, she's married and divorced twice.
She's 15.
Before she's 16 years old.
Jeez.
But she does keep his name.
Okay.
And that's also when she drops her first name. She's dancing. She's married for the second time. So, Frida McDonald becomes Josephine Baker. So 16-year-old Josephine Baker, as she is now known, she heads to New York City. Mm-hmm. She's good at dance. She's doing all right in St. Louis. She's doing fine on the streets. She ends up in an all-black revue. It's called Shuffle Along.
Okay.
Famous actor Paul Robeson is also in it.
Nice.
So, yeah, she wasn't initially supposed to be a part of the chorus because her father was likely a white man.
Right.
The people in St. Louis always, said, oh, she's too light, she's not black enough.
Right.
And now she's in New York, and she's, trying to get into the dance line, the chorus line. And they're like, oh, she's too dark.
Oh, my...
I mean, she just can't win. They also say she's too skinny. But even though, so they tell her she's too dark, but Shuffle Along, which was an all-black review, the dancers are all wearing blackface. That was popular with white audiences at the time. And so, you've got Al Jolson and all of that. So anyway, she's in a chorus that is wearing blackface. And they're like, your skin is too dark. But they're all already black. She's 16. She's on her own. She's working backstage. They don't want her on stage. But, just like in Showgirls. Mm-hmm. Somebody gets sick or falls down the stairs or whatever, And so, Josephine, you've got to go on.
Of course.
Now,
the show must go on.
She was dancing a version of the Charleston, which is already a lot of exaggerated movements.
Right.
But Josephine, she was funny, and she would make faces, and she just leaned all the way in to, like, the wild eyes, sticking my tongue out, just to kind of put it all together. And the audiences love her because she's funny.
Nice.
Now, she leaves it all on the stage. Wild eyes, like I said, exaggerated movements, funny faces. Audiences love her. But the fellow artists, not so much. She is having an affair with the white male piano player. His name is Claude.
Oh, no.
His wife, Mabel, is
probably not happy about that.
not happy about it, and has something to do with the performance as well. So, not doing all right.
Right.
But meanwhile, across the pond, there is... At this point, we're right after World War I.
Right.
And black soldiers came to Europe for the first time during World War I.
Yep.
And they brought with them kind of a curiosity and a desire for black culture, particularly jazz culture.
Oh, okay.
So especially in France, they just can't get enough of it. Like, so music, art, culture, all of that. Now, they want it to be a little bit kind of exaggerated. It's exotic.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything like this before.
Right.
Kind of like in the Lewis and Clark episode, how I talked about how York.
Right.
Like, people were just fascinated by him because they hadn't ever, like, seen anyone with skin that color and la.
Right, right.
Yeah, so Caroline Dudley Reagan, who is a white woman, invites her to come over to Paris in the early 1920s, and she is like, oh yeah, we're going to perform this revue that is going to be all black performers, and it's called La Revue Negre.
Oh, okay.
Like the Black Review.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bringing over music and art to Europe from black culture in America. And it's voyeuristic, it is exploitative, and Josephine doesn't mind because she's in on the joke.
Right.
She's like, oh, I'll roll my eyes and loll my tongue, and I'll wear whatever you need me to wear and whatever. Like, just get me out of here.
Right.
So this is where her star will start to shine. And she introduces La Danse Sauvage.
Oh.
And this is the famous dance that includes the banana peels.
Oh.
That if you know anything at all about Josephine Baker, then you know that famous poster.
Right.
And she will meet a bunch of influential movers and shakers in the arts and performance community over there. But I'm edging you. And this is where we're gonna stop right here.
Ooh.
And we will pick up next time and talk about what happens with Josephine once she crosses the pond and ends up in Paris. And there is so much more story than you even can imagine.
I can't wait.
To go.
Can't wait.
Alrighty.
Oh, yay.
Wow.
Do you remember when I used to have a cat by the name of Josie? It was a great
Yes.
tabby. She was named after Josephine
Josephine
Baker.
Baker.
Yes, her name was
Aw.
actually Josephine.
Did she shake her booty a lot?
No, she shook her tail.
She shook her tail. Well, so does Josephine. But now I believe that this is where we're going to take a little break.
Yep, we're going to take a little break.
Alrighty. And this is where I'm going to take Janet out back and put her in a banana skirt and not shoot her.
Well, then thank you so much for not shooting me.
That's right. Well, you're welcome for the banana skirt. I spent all morning making that. And then once we're finished with all of this nonsense, we're going to be back with What's Nice.
We'll be back with What's Nice.
What's nice?
Yeah.
Janet, what do you have that's nice for me?
Well, considering we were talking about Jesse James and I'm just going Merrimack Caverns because it belongs there. It really does. So if you don't know, again, most people in Missouri know about the Merrimack Caverns. If you're anywhere near any resemblance of what is left of Route 66, you will see barns with signs painted on their roofs telling you where the Merrimack Caverns are.
Route 66 is about to have, I believe, its 100th anniversary.
Oh my God!
Next year.
Oh.
So, little shout out from my job, but keep an eye on the Cheshire.
Yeah,
because they are a part of the original route. And we might have
Nice.
some special things coming up.
Oh, that would be so cool. Okay, so the Merrimack Caverns, Philip Renault, he was a French explorer in 1720. He had been contacting the Osage people, and they told him about a gigantic hole in the earth that they would use to basically hide from extreme weather. They mentioned the walls were covered in veins of glittering yellow metal. So, of course, Philip was like, hot damn, they found gold. He and his exploration party, they find the hole. It's 50 feet wide and 20 feet high. And the promised gold was actually salt pepper. Now, if anybody is aware, the Merrimack Caverns are located right on the Merrimack River. He ends up naming this cave the Salt Pepper Cave. Salt pepper is also known as potassium nitrate.
Oh.
Which is a key ingredient for making gunpowder at that time.
Indeed.
The cave was mined from 1720 all the way till the Civil War.
Saltpeter, John.
So, in 1864, Confederate troops end up destroying a Union-held gunpowder facility inside the cave, which ended the saltpeter mining immediately.
It's potassium. What is it?
It is. Oh, what makes gunpowder?
Right. What is it that
potassium
we have?
Nitrate.
And we mix it with sodium chloride.
That's right.
That's right. Look at me. Ha 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 to my college chemistry teacher where I had to take the class 3 times.
But you know that forever.
That's right.
The 1890s, the locals in Stanton, Missouri, they end up starting to hold cave parties during the summer to avoid the heat. Because
cave parties, well,
yeah,
that makes sense, honestly.
Right.
Like, if it's hot.
It is always 60 degrees, no matter what time of year it is in the caverns, according to all the billboards.
That's right.
So they end up, but they have a 50 by 50 foot dance floor nicknamed the Ballroom. In 1933, this guy, he grew up in the area, and his name was Lester Dill. He had been kind of crawling around
There
as a
were
kid.
so many Lesters. We don't have any Lesters anymore, do we?
No, we don't. We do not. There's actually a Lester in my family. I never met him.
Is there?
Yeah, my mom's brother was Lester.
What happened to him?
Oh, he died at the age of 29 from not congestive heart failure. Not strep throat. Oh my gosh. I am failing on what he passed away from. Rheumatic heart fever. He had rheumatic.
Okay,
yeah,
I was
so
like,
he had a rheumatic
the
heart.
Lester disease?
No.
Because apparently something killed off all the Lesters.
No, Lester passed away from from rheumatic heart.
I'm very sorry. Yeah, I'm
so.
sorry for making fun of you, Lester.
It's okay.
Don't haunt me.
So in 1933, Lester Dill, he buys the cave and he renames it the Merrimack Caverns because it's right on the Merrimack River.
Right.
And he declares, and back in the 30s and 40s, you have to come up with a little spin to try to get people to come to your this is a place.
They're not just going to come because you're a Lester.
So he declares this the Jesse James hideout because he ended up finding some things that looked like Jesse James might have used, but there's no way to confirm that at all.
It's just somebody was in there. And
somebody was in there. I'm sure there's a lot of people there behind. Forever, Yeah,
totally.
So in 1941, he ends up hiring this man. I don't have the man's real name, but he promoted this man as Jesse James Never Died. And in 1941, they had a guy visit. He said he was Jesse James. I remember as a kid, I don't know if they're there now because I haven't been in a bit, but as a kid, there was like the big newspaper article and a picture of this guy on the wall.
And there was a museum.
Yeah. Right? The museum is still there, but that little part, I don't know if that because they really did try to push that. Currently, you can go to the tour of the cave year-round. It's $29.50 for adults. It's $16 for children from 5 to 11. Under 5, you're free. They do not allow you to have strollers, so you'll have to carry your small one if they can't walk. They do have a motel, and of course, they have the little camping area right next to the river. They offer a zip line that goes right across the river. They have like
the James brothers would do.
They have a climbing wall. And of course, as a child, you can pan for gold.
Oh, that's right.
They also offer float trips and riverboat rides.
I heard that Frank actually died on a zip line. But no, I have been to the Merrimack Caverns, and we've done the tour and all of that. And then I've gone with friends before and taken the riverboat ride.
Yeah.
And it's super fun. It really is. It's a good day. The cafe there is reasonable. Go get lunch, at least get an ice cream cone.
Right. They have hamburgers there. They
let the kids pan for gold.
Right.
It's a good way to spend a day.
I actually went into the gift shop the other day when I was out at the cabin.
Oh, nice.
And they still have stuff. They don't have as much junk, but they still have things.
Right.
It's
you
things
can
for the
pay
kids.
by the pound and get a little velvet bag full of rocks.
Exactly. Right.
You can get candy that looks like rocks. Don't get them mixed up.
So, but that's my what's nice.
That is what's nice.
Yeah, Merrimack Caverns, always a good time.
Okay.
So, do you have a what's nice for me?
I do, although part of it is not available just yet.
Oh, okay.
And what I am going to talk to you about this is just from, it's not even a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Mary Strauss has, for 40 years, acquired artifacts that belonged to Josephine Baker.
Oh, wow.
We just had, in St. Louis, a wonderful exhibit at the St. Louis Art Museum that was called Roaring.
Yes.
And it was all about Paris in the 1920s and the advent of car culture. Josephine was one of the first people to have and drive a car around Europe, and we'll talk about that next week. But she also, people wanted to be like her. We're going to talk a little bit about more, get into that a little bit more next week also. But the person in the United States that has the largest Josephine Baker collection has just donated it to the Missouri History Museum.
Yay!
So all of that is going to be on display soon.
Oh, that would be awesome.
This will be everything from cookie jars with her likeness on it to clothes that she wore, cars that she drove, all of this. And we'll talk again. Like I said, I feel like I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself. But one thing, St. Louis, she really did. She felt a little bit more of a citizen of France.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk about it. But she did care for her home city.
Of course.
And she said that I had it put in my contract that I would not appear in any city where my people could not come to see me.
Right.
She wouldn't appear anywhere where it was segregated. And each time there's been an approach to my coming to St. Louis, I have always refused.
Wow.
I've had several fantastic offers at the first-class theaters and nightclubs, but when the question arrived about my people coming to see me, there was an immediate silence. And so, I mean, St. Louis certainly still has its problems with the way that we treat people and with questions of race. But, but Josephine Baker, there is somebody that cared enough about her to curate all of these items.
Nice.
And to keep at least a small collection here in the city where she was born. And so it's messy, but it's nice. And I love that she has finally started to get like the recognition and appreciation that she deserved all along.
Right, absolutely.
Here in her hometown of St. Louis. So I don't really have like a link or anything because that is still all kind of TBD.
Right.
While they put the exhibit together, but that is my what's nice.
Nice, yay. You know, back when I was still in college, I took this really fun class because, you know, you have to take electives. And I took this class about the history of art. And there was one day where they said, okay, our assignment was to go to the art museum and find a painting and sit with it for an hour and write about it.
I love that.
And I sat with this gigantic painting that was in basically the hallway practically of the St. Louis Art Museum. I'm pretty sure it's still there. I don't know if it's in the same spot. And it was a painting of Josephine Baker.
I love that.
Almost as big as this wall behind me. It was huge. So
like 8 by 10 feet. Just
gigantic painting of her.
Oh,
just amazing.
I love that. And I love that assignment too. You know what? Muddy Buddies, no matter where you are, go and, when you have a day to yourself, go to an art museum and just sit down with whatever speaks to you.
Right.
Give yourself a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Thoughts will pop into your head that you never would have thought before.
Yeah, I think that was really where I started to realize who she was because of that day in that art museum.
She was amazing. Yeah, and art expands our minds.
Absolutely. So I think this is where we come to an end.
This is where we come to an end.
And our sound is so much better.
I know. It's a little bit weird. Forgive us as we get used to wearing headsets.
Yes.
My ears are so sweaty right now.
Yeah.
But we sound so, the sound is so much better.
It's so much better.
I think it's much nicer.
Right.
But when we're talking about what's nice, there is also one thing, Janet, that I think we need to remind people to do, and that is 2, 3, 2, 1. Stay Midwest nice.